Greetings. Welcome to Faulkner Fixes All. Can you see me over there? Okay, so a paid subscriber reached out and wants to know how to center a rear fender on a collegiate style S5 bicycle. Of course, I don't have any of those around. Gee, where would I find some of those? I'll hook you up, Larry. Anyway, this one needs some work anyway, so it's really no big deal. And I'll show you the things to look out for when you are trying to get your rear fender to look right. On a Schwinn bike, you need to have the S5 back wheel or it's just not going to be right. And I'll show you what happens over here. You can't really see in the light, but when you use a non-Schwinn back wheel like this one is, there's not enough egging out of these stays that you can do, and spacers in here and a special spacer there to knock it down. It still kinks right here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a slight kink there from me forcing the fender in to make it look better here, which it didn't even come close. So yeah, you can do a lot of stuff. You can egg these holes out. I'll show you how to do that. You can make a special L bracket here that drops it deeper, and you can put a spacer, an aluminum spacer in between there on that one. And all that's fine and dandy, but you don't really get much out of it. And I'll show you why. You don't get much flex out of a fender. Here's a Schwinn fender that hasn't been flexed. And, you know, you can flex it a little bit. You know, you get a ½ inch out of it. Sorry, I had the camera under my chin. Anyway, you can flex this fender. You know, you can push it in by egging the stays. And you can make it flex in a little bit, but usually it kinks right there, around there, because that's stationary, and you're using these two stays to flex it in. And what happens is either this loosens up, which this is obviously toast on this one, or you get a kink, like that conversion bike over there. And using the S5 back wheel, you should be able to get something out of it without the kink forming here. It's usually right here, because you're forcing all of this business to come in. Now, you got to remember that Schwinn is a mass-produced bike. Although it's quality, it is a mass-produced bike, and they were turning out collegiates and racers, which this is not really a racer anymore. They were churning these out pretty quickly in the 70s. There was a bicycle boom, especially after the movie Breaking Away. So anyway, you're not going to get, you know, it's a mass-produced bike. We're going to egg these out, and we're going to take the fender off today because I have some other issues right here. And this is another issue about making this look right. Okay, we could suck that in all we want, and then that would probably touch the wheel because this is bent. Someone backed up into it. Somebody hit it with a car. Who knows what happened. That concentric action there is not correct. And I'll show you. You can definitely tell with my little straightening jig. You know, you put it here, and all is golden. You start to go back there, and you get about right here. Oh, it's lifting up. What's going on? Oh, it's really up. Oh, the fender is completely smashed. Oh, and then it's okay there. So what happened there? What happened there? Somebody backed into something, or some other bike hit them from behind, or who knows. It took a hit. Okay, and obviously this is all mangled. So today, we're just biting the bullet. We're taking this fender off. I'm going to put it in my jig. I'm going to put it in the vise here, and I'm going to pound the bejeebies out of it after we drill this stay out. And when the stays are off, we will notch them with my little tool. You could use a round file, but these are really nice to have. It's a little punch, and you could drill it, but it's hard to deburr and drill. And what am I thinking? Use a Dremel tool. You'll see. We got to take a fat quarter off of each brace to make it suck in. But you know, this looks pretty good here. This is Schwinn. This is what you need right there. And it's pretty good until there. And then it got stoved in and everything changed. And these are loose. I can tell this is loose. You shouldn't be able to do that. Or that. You see that movement. Okay, let's get you on the stand. And put Jibberjaw on, and we got work to do. We got about an hour's worth of work to do. So let's take this wheel off first thing. And it is really hot out here. I'm drinking this dehydration drink. Man. It's like 85 degrees out here today. Yeah, you don't want to hear your bike mechanic complaining about the heat, do you? Okay, so let's take one pad off just to make it easier. 10 mil. It's one of my favorite crash around on bikes. It's just the fact that it's not too whammy. It's not too clean. I'm not too worried about it getting scratched up. It is a 65. It started life as a racer. Well, technically it is still a racer. Someone's lighting fireworks off over there. Wow. Guess they were left over from 4th of July. Okay, so technically it is still a racer, but it's not. Alright, let's get this back wheel off and then we'll see. Unfortunately, this is my only 16 millimeter wrench. And it's quite goofy. But it does work. And when you're about to take the wheel off, make sure it's in 5th gear. It is right now. It just makes it easier to get the chain past that one. And when you're putting it on, make sure the selector is up in 5th, you know, and it's down there in the lower one in 5th, because it's just easier to deal with if you're just dealing with one gear in the chain instead of you going all the way from the 1st gear, which was way up towards the top. Oh man, I'm gonna eventually buy a Schwinn wrench that's 16. It's on the bucket list. Okay, let's get this wheel off. Ba-ding! See what I mean about being in 5th? You just have to fight that one gear. You're just fighting this, not the whole thing. Okay, let's put this to the side. All right, we're not going to play around. We're taking the fender right off. We know we got work to do. We got to drill out our stay, and we have to reform the fender and my little straightening wood dowel jig thingy poo. And then from there, we're going to use the junior punch to oblong the stay holes. Like I said, Schwinn is quality, but they were mass produced and there is some variations. And we'll measure this fender compared to that blue one over there that's not as damaged, and just kind of see what we're dealing with, you know? Okay, so we're going to take this brake off. It came off with the little aluminum thing. And there's another little aluminum thing that looks just like that. And it's in between the fender and the frame. And we're going to take that off too, because we don't want it to get lost. And we'll just kind of catalog this with the washer and the... We'll just kind of throw that back together. If we're really anal, we could put the shoe back on, but we don't really care about that. Let's put this somewhere where it's not going to scratch up our top hat thingy. Okay, so this is loose now. And let's see if we can loosen this up. I need a 3/8 of some sort. So yeah, subscriber reached out. He's got a couple of collegiates. One, I think he even converted from a racer. In fact, I know he did because I sold him the racer. So yeah, this is kind of a service call, but this bike really, it's been bugging me. The fender's toast. It took a hit. It's the stays are loose, and it's because it took a hit. It doesn't have that concentric. You know, I showed you before we took everything apart that there was this weird space in the back. Now that can happen on a normal bike without damage. You know, a normal non-converted 5-speed. And like I said, you know, Schwinns are They are mass produced. It happens. Okay, we got this. And we're going to put this one back together just so we don't lose it. And we'll put it back over on the bench. Okay, because you know that's kind of a special Schwinn. You could use any bolt you want, but it's nice to have the right one. Okay, let's take this off. And then we'll start straightening, and also... Yeah, right, I need a screwdriver on that. And we'll nib out those, we'll put a little notch in these stays. I might do the stay thing first, just so if you do have a fender that's not damaged like mine, then you can just go on with life without watching me for an hour pounding on a fender. There might be a chance where your fender's okay, and I don't want to waste your time. You know, I guess I could just say, check minute mark so-and-so. There goes a bolt. Okay, this fender should be ready to come off, I believe. Yes, we got it, okay. All right, so yeah, it's all dirty there. Now is a great time to steal all that dirt away, but we're not worried about that just yet. What we're worried about is this stay is okay. I think I'll just repound that. But this stay has to come off because I have to try to fix all this. But before I do that, just let me show you how to, in case you do have a good fender and you don't want to stick around for all the pounding is wailing and cussing about straightening the fender. Maybe your fender is good and you just want to see about the stays. Let me drink some more of this liquid here. Whew. Gosh, it's hot out today. Okay. Yeah, maybe you got a good fender and you don't want to wait through all this, so let's do it. This is a very handy tool. I recommend having it if you do a lot of fenders. And it's just a good all-around metal tool to have. It's called a Roper Williams punch number 5 Junior. They do have a larger punch, and it is quite impressive. It's like, it's almost like a two-manner. Okay, so we want this fender in the real world, once it's all straight and yummy and nice, we want this fender to go down that way, each way. So these holes have to be oblonged that way. So I'll take a little Sharpie just so you guys know what's up. I said I'd grab a Sharpie. Good, here's one. And just so I don't do it the wrong way, you know, you get excited with the punch and do it the wrong way. Anyway, so we want this to go, we want a nice healthy chunk out of that. And also, we don't want to just stop there. We want a healthy chunk out of this too. Yeah, on all of these. And we want it to go up because we want the whole fender to go down more. Right? That's a terrible mark, but you get the idea. Anyway, let's snip those off real quick in case you guys got other stuff to do, which I know you do. And you know, this is just my interpretation of how to make them fit. Maybe you want to go buy a better fender. Or maybe you shouldn't be modifying your Schwinn racer to collegiate. Maybe there's a slight difference. I doubt it. But, you know, maybe you want to do it a different way. This is by no means am I an expert. This is just what I've done over the years to make rear fenders on collegiates, racers, and any Schwinn bike with a fender, really. In fact, there is a link of a Schwinn Suburban that I do like this. Okay, so we're gonna take this, and we're just gonna wing it. Just shove it in there and clamp it down. That looks pretty good. And I don't have this adjusted right. Hang on, give me a sec. That was too much. Okay, there's a fat quarter on there. It looks pretty good. We're not talking rocket science here. Oh yeah. So it took that much out. That's not enough. Not enough. Let's keep going. Let's go until it's too much. Okay, that's pretty good. You can see the difference there. That's a pretty good space, and we can tell it is because this fits in here on the other one that's not modified, and you got a little room, you know, see? And then in this one, you got more room. See, that's how much you're gonna need. That's about how much you're gonna need to make that look right. So let's keep going, and then I'll undrill this whole thing on this one, and we'll straighten the fender. So if you want to book off now and just go straighten your fender because it's perfect and you don't have a mangled fender, I gave you the option. Okay. And let's check that one. That's pretty good. It could be a little better. Kind of a one-shot deal. You can kind of go in and do it again, but then it's kind of too much. That's pretty good. Okay, let's check it. That's not bad. Okay, let's do this one. All four. You need all four to be. You're not just going to get away with the two, because then you're going to make a crimp, you know. In fact, it's going to crimp a little anyway on the fender. So you're fighting that the whole time. Like how much is too much pushing it in, you know? That's pretty good. Okay. Looks like one more on this other back one. And wear safety glasses too. Okay. That's pretty good. I think I could live with that. Okay, so now we're done with that crazy let's ruin some Schwinn stay part, you know. And we're gonna drill. This one's okay. I think I'm gonna leave that be with a little repounding. But this one's gonna have to come out anyway. And then I'll use one of these rapid rivets. I think you've seen me use these before. Good luck finding any like this, but we'll use one. Anyway, let's drill this out. And you don't want to drill through the fender. You just want to drill the top head of the rivet. You don't want to drill through. But if you do, it's not a big deal, but it's not great to drill through the fender. And it'd be nice if you actually put the drill in correctly. Oh, this drill is bent, I think. Oh, yeah. That drill is toast. What the heck happened there? All right, well, we'll use this huge drill and just drill the top of the rivet. Hopefully it'll come out. Make sure your drills are straight. Make sure you have a sharp drill. I gotta find a good drill bit. Hang on a sec. Let's try this one. Any drill bit that isn't bent and is sharp would work. Good luck finding that. Okay, we're trying, folks. I know this is boring. So the rivet is spinning now. Okay, so I'm going to pressurize this the stay, I'm going to pressurize the stay away from me, and it should make the rivet not spin. Man. Still need a better drill. Okay, I probably should have had this drill thing set up so I'm not wasting everybody's time, including mine. Oh, there we go. We got a good drill. Imagine that. I'm still going to pressurize the stay away from me. There we go. All right. Okay, that's a nice chrome stay. We will reuse that with a rivet. And we'll pound that rivet out and start the straightening process. I think we're going to leave this one in, and let's start the straightening process. And we need a hammer and this, and we need to go over and set you guys up over here. Isn't this fun? Man, it's like 1,000,000 degrees out here. Well, I had my choice today. I could work on bikes. I could weld metal bases for tables, or I could do a bike video and fix my bike at the same time. Because, you know, when somebody asks for a video about how to straighten a rear fender on a Schwinn, I've got plenty that need it. It's just one of those things, like you take the bike out for a ride and you're like, oh, that's right, I forgot to pound these rivets in. The back fender's jangling all over the place. You know, you get out there, you hit a few rough patches in the trail, and you're like, oh man, I keep forgetting to fix this, you know? And being that this is one of my favorite bikes to ride, I just want to make it right. And when Larry asked me about the video, I was like, yeah, I got the perfect bike. Okay, so first thing we got to do is get this rivet out. I think I'll just put it in this hole over here. Okay, it's trying. I think I can grab that rivet with a pair of needle nose or something. Give me a second. You're ruining a Schwinn rivet. There it goes. Okay, so just getting that stay off, we realize that this is very bent. The reflector took a hit in. It's kinked right here. We can do one of these numbers, but before we do one of these Hercules Arnold Schwarzenegger crunching numbers, let's go in and just start pounding. Let's see here. I guess you guys can see what's going on. It's kind of hard with one person. You have to hold it up like this and hold this with the other hand and give it a whack and turn it. So first, I think what we're going to do first is start up high here. Not easy. And move it a little bit at a time. Keep going. The block is moving. I can see the block moving. The block is moving. Oh, that's right. I remember now. It's all coming back to me. Give me a second. It's all coming back to me now. Okay. Now we're talking. All right. Good. Man, it's hot, hot, hot. Yeah, I'd rather work on bikes in 80-degree heat than weld. Had to think about that one for about 8 seconds. Okay, so we started about here. Now we're going to move down and crunch that, and we're going to take special note around here. In fact, we're going to turn it sideways and hit it kind of like that. We're going to hit that. But let's just keep going. This is not an exact science, and this will not turn out perfect, folks. It's just as good as you can do with what you have here. Alright, so already you can see this kink is getting relieved. It's still kinked here. And this side is only kinked right there. So that big smash is now kind of gone. So let's work on getting that nib down a little bit. To do that, we're going to do a no-no. Metal on metal. No-no. Okay. Alright, so we got that nib down. Now, we're going to smash that now, and then we're going to do the Arnold Schwarzenegger Hercules technique. And then we're going to try to get that out, and that's probably going to be about it, because you could hammer on this all day. You're not going to get a lot out of it. Okay, so we need to see where that is, so let's sand the back of it. He's sanding on chrome. Okay, so we sanded the back a little so I can see exactly what's going on. Yeah, don't sand on chrome. Put some vinegar on it. Hey, put some vinegar on it. Okay, so this one, we're gonna lean it towards me and kind of rest it on my shoulder and get this in here. It's gonna be dicey. We got a little out, not much. Okay, we're gonna use this other little stick here, I think. Yeah, we're gonna use this one. Okay, you guys ready? And if you have a helper, now's the time to go get them, him or her. We're gonna try a little more on that. And then we're going to use the Herculean squeeze. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty bad right there. Got a little bit out of that, you know. Just take your time and keep looking at it. You can see the crunch right there. There's another way to do that too, but that's at the very end. We're gonna try a little bit more. You know what? Let's hit this with some steel wool so I can kind of see what's going on. Some steel wool. Bear with me. Okay. Okay, we'll just give this a little shine so I can see better what's happening here. Okay. Yeah, it's still, you can see, it's still splayed out right here. We're going to get to that in a second. Let's try to more here and a little bit there, and then we're going to squeeze it like I keep saying we're going to do. It's right on the edge. Living on the edge. probably about as good as we're gonna get. It took a pretty bad hit there. Okay, let's concentrate on that. And to do that, I need to see where it is. So this time we'll use some steel wool instead of sandpaper. And we can definitely see what's happening right there. So let's try to give that a little love tap. It's not going to be great. Oh, it'd be good if I use the curved side of the tool. It'd be nice. And we didn't get much out of that. We got a little. All right, let's do a no-no here. Metal on metal. Or metal on wood. Yeah, we got some out. We're not going to get it, you know, not without hours and hours. Okay, so now it's time for the hand crunch. We could put it in the vise and do it. But we'll see about this first. You guys ready? Okay. Observe, there's a big kink right here. Okay, not bad. Not bad. All right, so remember before when it wasn't going down on the when we were running the guide over it? Well, the straightening tool. Okay. That's really not bad. You know, when you look up here, there's that undamaged. And here's here. It's, you know, there's some waves. There's some stuff happening, but it's a lot better. Okay, you know, I could mess with it a little bit more. I really want to try to get that out. Let's give that another shot. We've got the fender apart now, you know, we can actually take all day if we wanted to, but we don't have all day. Okay, let's try to get this one last thing out. Where is it? It's right here. Yeah, I can kind of see it. That's really close to the bead roll, though. I don't know if I can get that out. That's really close. Yeah. That's not bad. Well, it's better than it was. There's a couple kinks here. There's one noticeable one right there. And there is a way to get that out. And it is a no-no. It's metal on wood. I think it's right here. Let's mark it so I know what's going on. Yeah, it's right there. There's the hump. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put it on this wood and whack it. It's not good. If I can even get it spot on there. I don't know if I can. I might be able to. Oh yeah, we got it. Now in a perfect world, you'd have a holder hold this, and you would take a piece of wood and hit it, or a wooden mallet. But it's me here. It's better. Yeah. A little bit right here. Okay. Okay, well, I mean, it's better. It's better than it was. All right, let's rapid rivet. Let's use a rapid rivet and put this back on. Now that we've egged these out a little bit. Yeah. There it is. Now's a great time to shine this up because you'll never be able to get in here and shine this up. Now's a great time to shine this up, folks. I could put some vinegar on this, but we don't have time for vinegar today. You always have time for vinegar. Oh, you guys don't see nothing over there, do you? Try to curl this around in a little ball and then stick it in here in the curve of the stay. And try to get some of that. I mean, you got the stay off in your hand. Might as well do something correct besides ruining it. And you know what? Let's just make sure these are really far enough. That's a good one there. Yeah, now we're talking. See how much movement that is now, see? How to ruin your Schwinn stay. Okay, let's get the rapid rivets. I found these years ago. Good luck finding them. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. They're rivets that you pound together. And today I really hope they work. They look pretty good. They look like Schwinn rivets when they're in, you know. Now's a great time to shine this too, since it's off the bike. And the brake's not in the way. You could go to town more, but I'm not. And this fender is stamped 1. I wonder why it's stamped 1. Strange. Okay, so here's the rapid rivet. That's the side that goes to the outside of the fender. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes you have to drill the fender out a little. I believe this is the case. I don't want to drill it out that much though. We're going to egg this hole out a little bit. See if this rapid rivet goes in here. Yes. So this would be nice if this works. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just don't want to hold. And it doesn't really matter because you probably won't find these anywhere anyway. I'll clean this up a little bit. This is where you use one of my special bolts I make. Okay, let's give it a shot. Will this fit through here? Yes, that will fit through there. That's good. We don't need to drill that. Okay, Mr. Rivet, come here. And of course, we're going to go over to the vise and pound the living crap out of it. Now, and we're back. Sorry about that. The camera actually overheated. Imagine that. Whew. Okay, so as I was saying, we're going to put this rapid rivet in. And to do that, you want to turn this sideways. I know it's counterintuitive, but put the rapid rivet together and turn it sideways. And then you're going to pound it home. Hopefully it'll hold. Sometimes it doesn't. And then when it's tight, you're going to twist that around. So let's go over here to my vise, which I've decided to bring over here. I don't know why. Let's get that ball peen. There is a way to kind of crunch the rivet first with like a pair of welding clamps or something, or a small C-clamp. Like I say, these don't typically work every time. So you get the rivet on there, and you press it down a little. And you have to, of course, you know, no helper here, just me. So the rivet's resting on there. Try not to get the fender on there. Get the rivet on there only. Couple taps at first. And this one didn't work. Damn it. Okay. Let's get another rapid rivet. Did I tell you it doesn't always work? Don't try to reuse it either. Alright, we got that in there. I'm sure there is the correct rivet somewhere. I've seen people selling the actual Schwinn rivets. I mean, the real deal. Okay, we got that started. That's a pretty good start. And now we're gonna pound it home now. That's pretty good. Needs a little more though. Oh, that's good. Okay. We did it. It flattened the rivet out a little bit. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Does it look like the Schwinn one? No. All right, so that's tight, right? So now we're going to spin it. And hopefully it won't break the rivet. You might have to pressurize this a little bit. Okay. Yes! All right, so now we have a rapid rivet installed. And we'll spread this out a little bit. And this fender is ready to install. But I did notice another ding over here. Where is that? Oh yeah, we should be able to get that out. Let's go back over there and whack it. Come on, we're not done yet with the straightening process. Okay. Where's the... Okay. And we can kind of see it there. Let's sand that up a little something. You got to be able to see it, you know. You start pounding on it. If you can see it very clearly on this side. Yeah, you can see some of it. Okay, let's do it. We got a little out, not much. Let's see if I can use this other one here. That's really hard. That'll help it. Okay, you guys with me? I'm trying to pressurize this, hold it, hold that, tilt it where I want it, and whack the living bejeebies out of it. We got a little out, not much. Man. Okay, let's get the ball peen and do a no-no. Yep, and that's probably about as good as we're gonna get it. You gotta know when to stop. At least it's just like a scratch now, not a big dent. Okay, you know what? We gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them. Let's put this fender on real quick. And then we'll put the wheel on, and then we can see how all that work panned out. Did we get enough to cinch it in correctly? Oh, you know what we gotta do? We gotta pound this stay a little bit with a center punch or something. Yeah. And we're still not done, folks. tighter. Okay. That's a little better. It's a little tighter. Not much. All right, let's put it on. Enough monkeying around here. Let's get some bolts. No monkey business. And now would be a great time to clean in there. But you know, it's really grimy in there, folks. Let's this is a quality channel. You know, this is quality. We use vinegar and stuff like that. See, now's a great time. You can actually get in here and clean this up a little, you know. If you're a nutcase and you want things clean, you know. Okay, not everything came off, but it's better than it was. All right, now let's put the fender on. Might as well get this brake ready. That way it's poking through and you can catch it on something. There, that's kind of ready now. All right. Yeah, so when you're a paid subscriber, you just drop me a message and I take care of it. I find out what you need. And I make it happen. Within reason. Okay, see how that just kind of rests on there? Isn't that great? There's nothing holding it on, just that little brake stub, threaded rod. But that allows me to do the rest once I put this on. And a little safety measure for you there. And I'll put this on just loosely. See, now there's no way it can just fall off. And you can go and put this other one on and these two. Let's put this center one on first. If I can find it. Here it is. Oh, yeah. Isn't this fun? What, this took about an hour and a half to make a fender better? I mean, it looks better already, you know? That curvature is looking better. And we forgot to compare it to that other fender over there, but we can kind of rough measure it in a minute. Drop the lock. Oh dear, I'm getting old. I am old. I'm old and I love it. Okay. All right. Okay, that's just hand tight. This one's just hand tight. Let's put these in. See all that work to make this oblong, and we could get that red Sharpie off of there. That looks unsightly. This is a quality channel. We show you how to ruin your Schwinn fenders the right way and make it look good. Okay, we got some of that red Sharpie off of there. This side also. Okay. So you see there's adjustment there now. and up and down here. It may not be a hill of beans, but we are hoping that it will be better. There appears to be missing a lock washer also. But you know what? We're going to put it on the side that's accessible later. Or I could dig around and find one now. Let's see, this goes to the inside. That goes outside. Okay. Now, let's find a lock washer. This is a quality channel, folks. I keep telling myself that. It's not the right lock washer, but it is a lock. It's not the star kind, it's just a little snap kind. But at least it is a lock, so that is good. Okay, we'll leave those loose for now. Let's tighten that bottom one and put this brake one on tight also. And then we'll put the wheel on and adjust the whole deal. You guys here? Yeah, you guys are here. Where would you possibly go? There's no other channel like this. There's nobody willing to go the extra mile. And you want to know what you can do for your back fender? I will tell you. Okay, that one's good. I saw it flex over a little. I did see it flex over a little when I did that. Yeah, the whole thing moved a little bit. Okay. It'll work. All right, let's tighten that brake up. And then we're going to put the wheel on. And then it's like Bob's your uncle. It's going to be done. You guys are going to be amazed at how concentric the fender looks, how excellent this worked. And in fact, you know what? I think Bill Gates is going to send me an award. He's watching right now. Man, this guy's great. Okay. Okay, good. We won't put that pad on yet because we're going to put the back wheel on. Oh man, look how much I've been riding that. Wow, I need new pads. Dude. Huh. I did not see that. These were new. Oh no, these were used. Yeah, I put used pads on this bike. Imagine that. And their gravel roads are wearing them out. Okay, so note to self, spend some money. Okay, so oh look, I found the right washer. Let's put it on. I didn't lose it. It just came off the bolt. Yeah, since it's not tight already, we haven't ruined that one washer. Okay, so use the right washers when you can. It was over there. I found it, and it's back on. Okay, good. All right, so everything looks pretty good here. We now have, see how much adjustment we have now? And a little bit on there too. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's going to make a lot of difference, especially since we've kind of re-arced this fender with all the pounding and beating we did on it. See, now it's not caved in like it was. Now it's an actual circle, well, half circle. And you know what? Let's measure this blue fender, which is not damaged in that way. And then we'll measure this other fender. See what's going on. Let's see if we're close. Just a rule of thumb. Okay, so from that edge to this edge is roughly, in the unflexed manner, before you start flexing it, is 27 and about 5/8. So let's go over here. Now we have this on the bike now, but we can kind of get an idea without the back wheel in. So 27 and 5/8 unflexed. And this is 28 and an eighth. Okay, but we have flex here. It's 28 and an eighth unflexed. This fender is damaged. I just pounded on it for 20 minutes. It was hit with a car or whatever before, those big dents. And hopefully when we press this in, we can probably get it to 27 and 3/4. Now, if not, if it still looks goofy, we'll take even more out of these back ones. But I don't want to press it too much because I will end up with a kink right here, or where it's weak back in here. So maybe this didn't work that good. Maybe it did. Let's put the back wheel on and see. That's the only way to know. And if we have to take the back wheel off again, that's the way it goes. To read, because we can't, we'd have to take the back wheel off to use the punch on these again. So let's put this back in and just quickly see how it looks before, because I can tighten these up with it in. Come on now. Come on now. Be nice. We're close. One of those pop-in specials. Oh, I see. There's a washer there. I need a screwdriver or something. I have a washer there to that's being stubborn. Oh, I see what's going on. Yeah. That's really being stubborn. You guys still here? Where would you go? Okay. I'm trying to get this little washer to go behind there. So the derailleur setting is the same because it was in there before. Oh, come on now. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, it's being nasty. Did I tell you I've worked on bikes a lot? There we go. Whew. Man. Starting to doubt my own intelligence. That was just that washer giving me problems. And it's there for a reason. With this freewheel, it needed a little room. Okay, let's just cinch this down a little bit because we don't know if we're gonna take this back wheel off again. Okay, we have a back wheel. And the... Gotta get a towel and wipe my head. Hang on a sec, folks. It is hot out here. Woo! Okay, so we haven't adjusted anything yet, and it looks better. In fact, it looks pretty good the way it is. Maybe just straightening the fender was good. You know, this distance is a little narrow here, and then it starts to open up here, but we have this adjustment now. And we can crunch it down a little bit. I'd say we crunch it down and tighten it up, because that's pretty close. It's not perfect. It's better than it was, and it's rounder, and this is tight. So I'd call it a win. We're going to crunch it in each side, and we're going to tighten it up. Then we're going to kind of give it a final look-see. I think it's well worth it. I think it was well worth it, folks. Now on this, I want to make sure I crunch the top and bottom at the same time, kind of holding it like that. And hopefully we can kind of, that's where that lock star washer comes in. It kind of helps you. Okay. I was able to crunch it in a little. Okay, now let's look at this side. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to crunch this down and that in at the same time. And maybe we'll tighten this up a little bit first so it won't be so hard. Let's see here. Let's see. So, down and down. I think that's it. I don't think we're going to get any more on that one. Yeah. Yeah, we could pop this one a little more with the punch, with the junior punch. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. This top one, it just needs a little more. And I just dropped the dang washer. Dang it. Oh, I see it. All right. I know it's taken a long time, but after all that work, I want it to be as good as possible. Yeah, so let's pop this. This one's not egged enough. This one's good, and this one's not. So we're going to egg this one a little more for ultimate adjustment. Yes. Okay. This is a quality channel. You know, we can show you how to really mess up your Schwinn fenders. Okay. Star washer back on. Star Magic Johnson. Okay, good. So we got that and that. See, now that'll go down more. You saw the movement there, right? See that movement? That's good. And we're going to crunch that down and crunch this in. We're going to tighten it up. And hopefully that little star washer will catch, because there's nobody holding that other side. Okay, I got it. That's good. Let's get a screwdriver. Okay, what did we learn today? We learned that It's not bad. I mean, you look here, you can see daylight. It gets high right here, and then it gets a little lower here, and then it comes out. And see, this kink is probably from all the straightening we did, and the fact that this is pinched here. You can't mess with that. So, I mean, we could lift this back up, but, you know, that's really not that bad. Yeah, it is better. It is more round. If we had a decent reflector, we could put it on. It's a little off here. There's a way to bend that over. Give me a second. I don't dare undo anything. I'm just going to bend the actual stays. There we go. Yeah, it's right in the middle now. Yep. Not bad. Not bad at all. Boop. I'm going to call that a win, folks. You saw it before. It was way off there. It was way stoved in, and it was way off here. You can see daylight through there, but you can see daylight through everywhere, all the way down in there. Yeah, that is not bad. We got it round. We got some of this business out here, and we got a new rapid rivet in there. Now, could we do the same to the front? Yeah, we could. The front's completely hammered. It looks like somebody hit that with a ball peen. Not today, folks. It is 90 degrees out here, it feels like. Probably about 86 or so. But you can see that one looks pretty even there. Even. And then it kind of raises up here. Why does it raise up there? Because of that. Because globally, it's not round anymore. It got hit here, which made this buckle in, which made that go out. So we would have to do the exact same thing to this. Another video, folks. Take the fender completely off, drill this rivet out, bring it over to my straightening presses, pound the living bejeebies out of it, put a rapid rivet in here, and then you would get rid of that. That wouldn't be so close there. And this would be, this area right here is wrong. You shouldn't be able to put your whole finger in there like that. You can't really hear. See, my finger stops. You know, it's close. And a little bit here, and that's, you know, you run into that. The fender is damaged, and the damage went to this normal part where it always kinks. Whenever there's damage here, it raises it here. You can feel the kink right here, or in here. This stay is holding it round, and so when you do mess with these bikes and you change them to different wheel sizes, like I don't have a Schwinn wheel on this, so I could put a spacer there, kicking the fender out. I could put a different bracket on here, kicking the fender down, and I could notch these stays heavily, but it's going to kink it right here, which is already starting to do. I can feel it. You might even be able to pick it up on camera. It's right there. It's already going to kink there. And, you know, yeah, this is giant right here. Yeah, you're not running a Schwinn wheel. You know, you can't do that with a Schwinn wheel. You can put your finger all the way through right here. You can't do that with a Schwinn wheel. You know, well, you could if you really force your finger in, but, you know, no. The tolerance is correct. Okay, so hey Larry, I hope this has been helpful, man. I needed to do this anyway. It is hot as blazes out here. It was a non-bike rides weekend. It was just too hot. If you've done bike rides in North Carolina mountains, bike season's usually like, you know, September to November and spring. There's a couple months in between where, unless you go early in the morning, it's not really a bike ride day. Okay, so yeah, I'll put the link to the other fender. There's a couple fender. There's another guy that was having issues with his Schwinn Suburban fender, and I just pulled an old frame out of the basement and did the same thing I did here and made it right. Although that bike really didn't need it, and I don't think I went into detail about the junior punch and modifying the stays. in extreme circumstances, when the fender is damaged or you have modified the bike with smaller wheels, you definitely have to use the punch or a round file. You don't have to have a punch, but the round file is going to take you a while. And don't just put the stays in a vise and try to oblong the drill back and forth, you know, egging them out. It just never ends well. It catches the stay, wraps around the drill bit. Don't ask me how I know. Yeah, use a Dremel tool, use the punch, or try not to egg them out. Try to get a better fender. Like I say, if you're doing that, there's something wrong with the fender. Along the line, there's damage. Like with this one, you can clearly see that's been beat hard and put away wet. So yeah, there's a big gap here, and that would go away. This would go back up, and this would go down, and that would crunch back out, and this would be correct. And you wouldn't have to notch these at all if this was a nice fender, or if you just undrilled this rivet and really dealt with this in a humane way of just trying your best to straighten it. And then that way the arc would be there and you wouldn't be fighting these adjustments. With this one, the arc wasn't there anymore, but we made the arc as good as I can, you know? And so that way it allowed us to not rely so heavily on that adjustment, although it was nice to have because it turned out very well. Okay, so you know, that wraps it up for now. And if you guys have questions, and oh, we got to put this pad on, we'll do it in a minute. If you guys have questions about stuff, you know, like I don't have enough Schwinn 5-speeds to work on and show you, you know, I'd have to go and get one. Hey man, keep it real, folks. When you're feeling down, just go out and work on your junk. It makes me feel great. Yeah. Forget about everything. You get in the zone, man. Okay, it's the only channel that matters. Thanks for subscribing. Comments always welcome. Larry, if you do this, if you punch out those holes and maybe not straighten everything with a pounding jig like I did, but if you egg those holes out and you carefully have someone hold it in or kind of crunch it in with your body and quickly tighten it up with the star washers, you'll get some more out of that. You'll get it to be more concentric. Yeah, let me know how it works for you. Have a good day, man.